Welcome to today's Beachside Chat. Wow, I looked at this one beach. I wanted to go to a new beach, and guess what? I found this one. I was able to book 11 hours, and it's a rough beach, man. It's rocky and windy, a little bit cool. And look what I saw swimming by when I decided to take a dip. Kind of scared me at first. But what kind of animal is that? Yep, a water-bound stegosaurus is out hunting for seaweed. Yeah, my hat is not seaweed. Let it go. Let my hat go. Steggy, would you like to join me for my beachside chat today? Yes, of course. When I invited him, he was oh so happy. I gave him a nice chunk of seaweed, and quit sniffing my hat. It's not a vegetable. Well, let's get right to things. I wanted to talk about things. Every night I go to bed, I lay down there, and I think, I want to talk about this, I want to do this, and this, and this. And when I wake up in the morning, it's like wiped clean. I think I'm being abducted by aliens, maybe Stega aliens. The Stega, yeah, it's not the, it's the Stega ones. Yeah, it's the dinosaur type. Oh, just stay there sniffing my hat the whole time. You can even lick it a bit. Yeah, that's nice enough. All right, Steggy, you're nice and comfy, especially when it's chilly. It's chilly, man. I'm not coming back to this beach. Since I have 11 hours booked, we're going to take advantage of it. But one thing I did do yesterday, I did write down one thing. I know there's a bunch of things written down there, but I wrote two things down. Of course, I was thinking about you, and I thought of something that happened to me when I was your age, and then I wanted to advise you on something. You know, there's so many different things you can do in life. Some good, some bad. Most of it's just in between. And most people don't get nowhere. Like, what's the goal in life? Make happiness, make your life better, and enjoy yourself. And help others, if that makes you happy. And it actually does. But how can you help others if you ain't got no spandulets? Well, learn something that makes you spandulets. You could rob a bank, but usually it don't work out too well. Look at Ronnie or Bobby Biggs. Bobby Biggs! The Great Train Robbery. He helped out in the Great Train Robbery. He, after stealing a bunch of cash, that happened in England. They robbed a train. Oh, I was dumb, huh? Okay, and then he was on the run. He's escaped from prison. He was on the run. You can look at the story on the internet if you like. Ended up in Brazil for most of his life. And, they kept coming after him. And finally, he surrendered. And that was weird. Because it was in the Brazilian courts for years and years, maybe decades. Because they were trying to get Brazil to give him up. Brazil finally said, look, this guy's never caused a problem here. He's a really good citizen, and we're not going to give him up. Well, yeah, he's been a good guy. And Brazil and England never signed any agreements, so he had won. The Brits gave up, packed their bags, and flew off because they knew they're never going to get him. Literally, it was a couple of years later, maybe a year later, maybe even weeks later, he called them up and he said, "I'm going to surrender." Well, he was quite an old guy and suffering ill health. And he knew the Brazilian medical system wasn't as good. And he went back to England. They actually didn't treat him very nice. You can look up the story. Bobby Biggs, the Great Train Robbery. Okay. If he would have decided to do something destructive with his life, he wouldn't have been in that situation. Of course, he wouldn't have been able to live in Brazil for many, I don't know, 20 years, I don't know. But I know I said but. So be it. What does that have to do with you? Well, I don't want you to be robbing no trains. You know, I just want you to be successful. But most of all, happy. But sometimes, you've heard the term, no pain, no gain? Yeah, that's right. You gotta pay the price. That means you gotta learn stuff that makes you money. I'm going to tell you, I wrote this down. It said, learn finances. I was watching a couple of videos on the situation going on in China and how they've, how they do their system of finance, which is quite corrupt. I think it would make corrupt Brazilians look honest. Well, anyhow, if you don't understand it, well, it makes you just average. You have to understand finances, how the financial system works. Once you understand how the financial systems work, you can use that to your advantage. And here's a story I told you a long time ago. When I was about your age, well, my mother had bought some gold. And I don't remember how many ounces it was. It was Krugerrand, South African coin. But it was pure gold. And, okay. Because there was always these reports that gold's going to go up and up and up and up. But of course, she didn't know how to, she just bought it like so many people did. And I got this crazy idea. Because back then, you could look it in the paper or the morning after. How can you follow something to do that? But in order to find out how to buy it at the best price and sell it at the best price, you had to phone the bank. So I'd phone the bank first thing in the morning, and morning and closed. So just after it opened, just after it closed, the price of gold closed. And I made my own chart. You know how those squiggly charts go up? And then down like this, and then up, and sometimes they go down, and sometimes they go up like that. Well, that's how it started to look. So I was plotting, because it was quite expensive, you had to be very careful on selling and then rebuying. You always buy low and sell high. Most people, I mean, just common sense, but most people buy high and sell low because they're not smart, because they're buying with their heart, they're not buying with their head. So I'd followed it, and finally I told her, I said, look, I've been following something. She knew I was following it, and I said, this is the best time to sell. So I would kind of watch a spike as it went up a little bit, then it would all go down and go up a little bit more. I mean, it was developing a pattern based on the news cycle. And it hit, and I said, it's gone up, down, and I said, tomorrow it's going to go up. Tomorrow, at the high peak tomorrow, we sell. If it doesn't go to hit a higher peak tomorrow, we'll sell the next high peak. We got to sell. That's what we did. We got more gold. 2 ounces. I was able to buy 2 more ounces of gold. And then it went down, and then it was doing it. Then the whole cycle was repeating. And then I told her again, time to sell. And this time she was listening to with her heart. Some dummy on the news was saying, gold's going to go to $1,200 an ounce. And I said, well, let's hope it does. But it's not going to do that right now. Time to sell. She didn't listen to me. She held it. And gold went down and down and down. Sort of went into a recessive cycle, flattened out to prices below the initial purchase. If I didn't follow charts, I would have never known. That's how you make money. Really good money. Which brings me to you. We can start to have fun with you. Just to do it like sort of every day a little bit. We'll find a chart, maybe gold and silver. You can follow it. You don't have to make your own charts anymore. Wow. It spoils the fun. But you can follow the pattern, see the pattern. And it's really nice because you can actually see something good happening. You can see it working. And it's really cool. Then you can plot, oh, this would have been a good time. So you don't spend hours at it in the beginning because it'll burn you out. It's like anything. Don't spend too much time or it'll burn you out. Especially you right now, 23 minutes and 30 seconds. 22 minutes and 30 seconds. And then you can expand your time until you can, understand it. Anything. You feel comfortable. After that period of time, you're not learning a darn thing. Let's start that next week. So, 22 minutes and 30 seconds a day studying. Just following charts. Sounds like a blast, huh? Well, Steggy, I know you're shivering. I'm gonna go now. Have a nice time. And goodbye from today's Beachside Chat.